What's up, y'all? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. I'm Gina Page, president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com. And late this month we've been coming on doing reveals for folks, and I've been having a lot of fun. I get to meet a bunch of new people that I admire online, and I think, oh, I wonder what they're really like. I get the chance to talk to them, and tonight is no different. I feel like this brother needs absolutely zero introduction. I have seen him all over social media and always have been impressed with what I've heard. And I don't know, he seems so young to me, but just the power and the conviction and the um, accuracy and the poignancy of his what he's teaching us all the time has always resonated with me. So when he agreed to come on and be revealed, I've been fangirling, like my November must be my fangirl month. So I'm gonna bring up, and I we talked about this. I feel like I want to call him all these different names. So I'm bringing up, you guys know him as Consciously. His friends know him as George. I'm feeling like maybe I'm gonna call him Mr. Lee. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm bracing myself. I got a little bit of anxiety. I also know that I'm one of those neuro spicy people that over identify and that go down rabbit holes. So I know whatever information you feeling revealed to me, man, I'm about to become an expert in like a week or two.
Well, so you described yourself as neuro spicy. So how do you define yourself? What is your identity? If
My
I were to
identity,
say who are you, how do you define yourself?
yeah, I'm George Lee, aka Consciously. Motto is education is elevation. I consider myself a edutainer, a author, a thought leader, husband and father. My politic is very Pan African at the center, with a little mixture of progressivism, especially when it comes to being inclusive towards all different facets of Black identity, all different flavors of Black identity. That's how I would describe myself.
I love it. I love it. You hit all the points in there too. Now tell me about your family. How many siblings do you have? Or we traced your mother's line, so your mother's line. How many siblings do you have on your mama's side?
Man, my mama got 4 kids. I'm the oldest. I'm the only boy. I got 3 little sisters. Shout out to my little
Okay.
sisters.
Okay, shout out to the little sisters. And what do you know about your mother's people? Like, how far back can you go?
Oh man, I really only can go back maybe like 2 or 3 generations.
Hmm.
The person that raised my mother was her great grandmother, who we were told was Cherokee. But when I did my heritage, I seen that that she not as Cherokee as they saying she was. But that's a whole different story for a whole nother different video. Shout out to settler colonialism. But I say really by like 3 generations. I say like 3 generations. I know that my mother's mother is from Louisiana, Alexandria, Louisiana, and her mother is from Louisiana. And that's that. And my grandmother is from Louisiana, Mississippi area.
Okay.
That's all I know. But to be honest with you, I know the least about my mother's family.
Ah, so you know more about your father's family.
Definitely.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm good. I'm glad we did your maternal line. But before we even get there, I'm curious. We were chatting a little bit just before we came on, and I told you that one of the biggest pushbacks we get is when people say, "Well, what difference does it make? So what? I'm African American. What difference does it make where I'm from in Africa?" So, what motivated you to want to know where you're from in Africa?
I'm gonna answer on 2 levels. I'm gonna answer on the personal level and the political level. On the personal level, I was always told in order to know where you're going, you gotta know where you come from. And I was always felt a little alienated when I was in these AP honor roll classes, in these pre-AP classes, and all of the white people would know the specific ethnicity they was from. They would be able to be proud about it. And then when we got to and then it's me getting to the political side, when I started education, typically I'll be able to start to understand how white people spend a lot of money teaching us about their ancestry. It's the reason why we learn about the Greeks and the Romans and all these other different things that the Europeans have done, because they understand that where they got from, how they get here, a lot of their values, a lot of their customs, a lot of their practices, it comes from their ancestry. So for me, I feel like there ain't no way around it. You know what I'm saying? Personally, professionally, we know everywhere we have right now, it come from something. It didn't just fall out the sky. It didn't come from the ground. And also, being real with you, personally, when I was young, when I started getting into the movie roots, when I got into college, I learned about film, about like studying films, and I learned about Alex Haley, how he was able to trace his lineage all the way back to the Manica tribe and able to learn these different words. And just in college, I learned about African retentions, or African, like how we're able to retain certain parts of our culture. And I feel like Alex Haley, was able to see this through language, how passing down, different sayings, how you was able to preserve that African culture. I'm interested, when I get my information, what retentions, you feel me, have I been able to, or has my family been able to keep in our culture, keeping our practices in terms of customs, language, values, beliefs, whatever. So I'm really locked into it. And then the last thing I say, I got a degree in African American studies.
I saw that.
Graduate degree, and I'm all about the roots. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's important for me to embrace my roots. It's important for me to be proud of where I'm from. It's to be proud of what's in me, even if I don't know where I'm from, quote unquote, taking it that way. I think that me understanding what my bloodline being is a part of my story, is a part of my journey, and hoping to be able to give a piece of the story to my kids.
I love it. I love it. Yes, it's very, very important. So thank you. I'm going to use that African retentions. That's a nice way of saying
I
it.
took a whole class over it, man. I took a whole class on it.
If you don't mind, I will definitely quote you on that. So, okay. So I know that you said back in 2016, you took a test with MyHeritage or somebody like that.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite give you what you were looking for.
Didn't give what I was looking for.
Yeah. And that's why I was really excited that you were willing to do this with us, because as you know, we're able to get very specific. When the ancestry is African, we're able to get specific to a present day. So I know I'm talking to a historian, a present day African country. So we know that these are artificially drawn borders, politically drawn borders, but what we call it today. And then not stopping there, but the ethnic group or groups in that present day region. And the way we're able to do this, and why the company you used is not able to do this, is because we decided that if we're going to tell Black people where we're from in Africa, we need to get as many African samples as possible, because it's really a matching process. I'm going to simplify it. I'm not the geneticist on the team, but I like to talk about it in ways that everyone can understand. Each company takes a portion of your DNA and then compares it to a database or a data set of DNA from all over the world. And the world, excluding Africa, is in a general database. Most companies have access to like 70, 80,000 worldwide samples. But that's not answering our question. We don't need to know. Well, I shouldn't say that. We're not as interested in the other parts of the world that we come from, because we can get there by names. We have all the history tells us where those lineages come from. What we don't know is the African part. So we have the largest reference data set of African DNA. We have over 33,000 samples. The closest company to us now has 8,000 samples. Half of them are from Nigeria. So when you take a test with another company, one of the big name companies that's still in business, they're going to compare you to 8,000 Africans, half of whom are Nigerians. So you're going to get Nigeria in your mix. You're just
exactly
we don't have to teach statistics. That's just kind of common sense. And then they're giving you these regions and they're giving you percentages. So they've, in a sense, looked at across your genetic family tree and that said some portion comes from Africa, some portion comes from Europe, some portion may come from, you know, indigenous populations, whatever. And then within Africa, they've segmented these regions. We don't look at across your genetic family tree because we know that Black folks are mixed.
Yeah.
History told us that.
Yeah.
So we look at your mother's people, because that DNA don't change. Mother to mother to mother, you've inherited from your mother something called mitochondrial DNA. She got it from her mother and her mother and her mother, and she passed it to you and your sisters. And your sisters is maternally inherited. So when your sisters become mothers, they'll pass it to their children. Your children got it from their mother, not from you. Mm-hmm. But they still got half your DNA. So this is still their ancestry too. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's, and then we also look at paternal ancestries, father to father to father to father. Now, we tend not to do those when we're doing reveals because 3 or 4 out of 10 people assigned male or intersex at birth who take that test get a European result, because white men were fathering children with enslaved women, and they passed the Y chromosome to their offspring who are assigned male or intersex at birth. And so we don't, again, I don't want to be African ancestry telling you share ancestry with people living in Portugal today. That's not meaningful, especially not to you.
Finish. Yeah, man. That's what I got from when I was like Finnish and English, and it was like, that's cool, I guess. Shout out to Finland, but that's not what I was looking for.
All right, what you gonna do with that?
And I was like, shout out to Finland, but I'm not interested in doing any deep dives in Finnish history or culture. No disrespect to the Finnish at all. It just wasn't what I desired to look into at all. So it was like, what I'm gonna do with that?
Exactly. Somebody said, I hope this is free, whatever she's selling. No, it's not free. Unfortunately, we can't do this work for free. And we can talk about that. I see you got a question, you got a comment.
I ain't got a question. I just at a time right now, we talking about we ain't buying it. We talking about boycotting Target and Amazon and all these different spaces and places. And I just don't like sometimes how, not all of our people, but some of our people come to Black-owned entities and they have this type of expectation of getting something for free, or like, come on, man. You would never go to them white folks and be like, it's better be for free. It's like, what? It's just like, I ain't got time, man. I ain't got time. Whoever said that, this might not be the video for you. And that's fine. That's fine.
Right. Everything's not for everybody.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and so that leads me to another really important point. The other companies are significantly less expensive than African Ancestry. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but let me tell you why. When they take your DNA, you pay them $99, maybe $49, maybe $120, whatever it is. You pay them that for them to then tell you that you come from West Africa. Something that if you take one of Conscious Lee's classes, you will already know.
Definitely.
And then they own your DNA. And that's where the wealth is. So they are able to monetize your DNA in lots of different ways and make way more off of your DNA than they did off of the $49.99, $129 that you paid them to tell you that you're from West Africa. So we don't do that.
Wicked.
We don't sell or share our customers' DNA from day one. Our lab destroys it once we get your result. Not the best business decision from a wealth building standpoint. However, you name me one Black person that'll be like, here, take my DNA and then do what you want with it. Just tell me where I'm from. That person doesn't, very few of those people exist. So we're not monetizing your genetic information. your DNA is secure and then destroyed. So, you ready to find out where you're from?
I'm ready. I'm
So
ready.
I want to know what you thought, and I want y'all to put in the shout out to Purple Fish 20. She said, forget boycotting, just buy black. How about that?
You feel me? You know what I mean? I did see that. I did say purple. Yeah, definitely.
How about that? So tell me where you guys think Mr. Lee's maternal roots are from. Now you heard him say that he can trace his great grandmother back to Louisiana. So where do you think her people were before Louisiana? And what kind of guesses do you have, George? I'm gonna call you every name. I'm gonna try them
I'm
all
gonna
and see
say,
what feels.
yeah. I'm gonna say, it's weird. I'm gonna say Sierra Leone or Kenya. I don't know. I feel like those is not those is like far. You feel me?
Extreme,
But like,
right?
yeah, Sierra Leone or Kenya.
So what makes you say those two?
I know the other one I took, you know what I'm saying, says Sierra Leone. And without me going on too much rants or too much tangents, I've been really thinking about if I had like I know Sierra Leone has a little settler colonialism in the game. So I've been thinking like, what if your heritage is like settler, like what if you colonize a Sierra Leone? Like what if what is that if, like Mr. Lee, what if this is your heritage? What if she tells you that this, you know what I'm saying? Or it's something I've been grappling with. And technically can't tell me, but I've been grappling with that. And then I seen Kenya was on my, like, it was like a small percentage on my other one. And I've been told by a lot of people when I was in college that they always thought I was Kenyan. So, you know, people always tell me I look like my mom. So I don't know. That's just I feel like some shots. Like, I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, I asked for what you thought. So it's interesting. We did find your ancestry in West Africa. Again, this is just your mother's people. And your ancestry is found in a present day country, speaking of colonization, that was colonized by both the French and the British. It's centrally located in West Africa. It's the country of Cameroon.
Wouldn't guess that.
You wouldn't have guessed that?
Uh-uh.
So what's exciting about Cameroon, based on the things that you're interested in, is that it's known as Africa in miniature. And they have that title because pretty much anything you find across the continent, you find in this one country. Again, present day country. So everything from mountains to rainforest to, you know, the beach and everything in between, grasslands, all of that. Every type of food. There's a lot, extreme amount of cultural diversity in Cameroon. Like I mentioned, it has both English and French as its official languages, but that has caused that colonization and colonialism has really caused a fracture in the country. It's a real clear example of how colonial partition reshaped language and schooling and law. So you've got these Anglophone and Francophone divisions, and that pretty much determines your life and your livelihood based on which group you fall into. Cameroon is a place where Pan-African ideas and critiques of the empire have some real stakes. So when you talk about solidarity and you talk about liberation, there is a counter or parallel narrative in Cameroon in their history with the French and counterinsurgency that they had during their struggle for independence. Education, I know, is to say it's very important to you really doesn't do that justice, but education as a political battleground is what we find in Cameroon as well. The Anglophone community is really in a crisis right now, and it started with their teachers and their lawyers saying this system doesn't reflect who we are. So I feel like politically and historically, there's a lot for you to explore about Cameroon. I did learn about this philosopher and thinker, Cameroonian philosopher and thinker. His name is Akil Mbembe. And he built a large part of his theory out of what Cameroon became after independence. So I want to make sure that I share that with you. But there's a lot of identity debate going on in Cameroon. But all of that is a backdrop for the groups that you share ancestry with. Oh, the other thing about Cameroon is I think they have some of the most delicious food on the continent.
Oh,
They go hard for their food. They'll fight you to if you say anybody else's food is any better. But we found your ancestry, so which means we found people in 3 different groups that share your same mitochondrial DNA.
3.
3.
That's
Now,
dope.
they're all very, very tiny. There are very few of them left anymore. Here's Cameroon, and everybody that you share ancestry with is in that northern part where you see the white dots.
Mhm.
Cameroon is bordered by Nigeria, Niger, Chad, Central African Republic, the Republic of the Congo, Gabon, and Equatorial Guinea. So you're going to see some overlap with groups, not just confined to the Cameroon borders, but overlapping. So the groups are the Mafa people, the Masa people, and the Kotoko people. All right. So let's start with the Kotoko people. What are you thinking right now? Tell me what you're thinking.
I'm still processing it all, honestly.
Okay.
I'm still processing it. Like, man, I'm still processing it, man. I'm still processing it.
Okay. So the Kotoko people are in northern Cameroon, as I said, and they are considered river kingdoms. So they had their own political system, they had the Islamic scholarship, and they had ties to the Kanu Bornum Empire. It's like 13th, 14th century, way before the Europeans even thought about Africa and drawn some borders. The Kotoko communities had governance and written knowledge. So that totally reinforces the point you make a lot about Africa not waiting for Europe, to come and save it. We had our own systems, and your people, the Kotoko people, had their own systems. Now, the Mafa people, and they are up in the mountains. So they're more to the east, I think. The east is so narrow up there. They're up in the Mandara Mountains, and they have a completely different model. So their model is councils, age groups, and negotiation instead of a single authority, central authority figure. And so it's more of like community built power instead of, one person ruling. Then when you bring in the Masa people, both the Masa and the Mafa, they had a lot of slave raiding going on, even before colonialism from other regions around what is today northern Cameroon. So when you hear people talk about slavery happened in Africa, yes, it did, and your people were affected by that, but we also know, as you know, that it is a different kind of system. The Kotoko had bronze casting. The Mafa had defensive architecture. So the way that they built their communities in these mountains was a form of resistance to help protect them from the outside regional forces coming in. And then the Masa people are along the river. So they had river engineering. So listen, these people were architects, engineers, artisans, they had, some of them had, what do you call it? Community-based ruling. Some of them didn't. Um, it's just African innovation all over the place in that little bitty northern part of Cameroon.
Man, this, in college, we learned, or I say we learned in college. I did my own research, figured out that a lot of the ratings was happening more inland, and more of the kind of tribes that was doing a lot of the trading or doing a lot of the deals with the Europeans was more coastal. I think that for people that's watching, it's important to point out that the tribe she telling y'all and the people that sold my people were not the same people. I think that a lot of times contemporarily we talk about black people being sold by other black people, Africans selling Africans, and I think that it's a gross it's a gross characterization of historically what happened. I think that when we see Germany invade, what I'm saying, Poland, we don't say white people invade white people. We look at them as Polish and them as German. What I'm saying? So I think that it's important distinctions that we should think about and talk about when we talk about what happened in the continent. Definitely for everybody that's Cameroonian that's watching, I'm about to get on y'all nerves. I'm about to get on y'all nerves, man. I'm about to get on y'all nerves. I ain't gonna lie, it did trigger me a little bit, like with sadness, when you said like not many of them are left there. And it's just like y'all was rated so much. And it's just all three of these tribes. You feel me? But also made me think about how like inherently communal my mama's side of the family is. And sadly, because they so communal, I feel like even in contemporary times, it's made it where a lot of the relationships that we have from a familiar standpoint, I feel like don't really exist as much as they could, because of the replication, I feel like, of how communal people get taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my mama's side of the family, the ones that I do know, always talked about the notion of somebody taking your kindness for a weakness. You know what I'm saying? So just in me holding it together, you know what I mean? I'm gonna cry about it when I get off of this, you know what I'm saying? If I think about it and process it, and me just thinking about the surface level things that I know is just like, man, this is crazy. This is crazy.
And one of the things that I didn't tell you, I was looking it up to make sure I told you the right group. So the Masa, M-A-S-A, the Masa people are sometimes referred to as the banana people, which means friendly.
Yeah, man.
But they're known to largely keep to themselves. So they avoid missionary groups, they avoid government officials. Oh, this was an interesting thing too. Just totally random fact, but I love this one. So in the battle between two groups of Masa, several rules must be met. You collect the wounded from combat, so you don't leave the wounded, and you do not hit a man on the ground nor one who is wounded. And then the fighting must end at dusk.
Yeah, man. Just yes. But I mean, by customs and things like that, I think for me preparing to do this, I talked to Krim, I'm saying Ernest Krim. We was in Philadelphia together this past weekend, and something that he told me that he did was that he was already doing like his like census lineage, you know what I'm saying, through that way. So now
genealogy.
it's genealogy basically. So now I'm encouraged to do mine, especially on my mama's side, because I don't know nothing about them really. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that much. So shout out to Rolando. You know what I'm saying? I think it's his name, Rolando. Sounds like integrity to me. Definitely sounds like integrity to me as well. Words can't even explain right now all the feelings and emotions that I have. That's at the surface and that's spinning. You know what I'm saying? That's real deep in my stomach. Somebody said it explains why he has good hair. Definitely interested to see what I'm saying, where that leads to. I'm also thinking about one of the episodes I seen with Erykah Badu. Where Erykah Badu, I don't remember the tribe, but I remember her people.
She's Bamalege.
Okay.
Yeah, she's Bamileke, and the Bamileke are in the like more in the central part of Cameroon in the grasslands. The Bamileke are the business people of the culture. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
interesting.
man.
Yeah, Cameroon is one of the countries where that we find the most often, um, along with Sierra Leone, which you mentioned earlier, Guinea-Bissau, which is a really tiny country, but we see a lot of ancestry from that part of West Africa. Nigeria, of course, Nigeria is such a large
Yeah.
country. And then but in terms of people whose ancestries are Cameroon, we see people like you said, Erica Badu, ancestor Quincy Jones, comedian Anthony Anderson, Wanda Sykes, Taraji P. Henson. She's either Massa or Mafa, one of those two. We don't find those results.
Raji, what's up, kinfolk?
So yeah, you're in good company with Cameroon. Plus, you got a lot of your Cameroon cousins here in the chat watching too. So that's kind of cool. I know Purple Fish is Cameroon, and
Yeah,
someone else.
man. I'm trying to link with y'all, man. I'm trying to now, and I gotta have my own little live stream where I talk to a whole bunch of Cameroonian people just about culture and history. To be honest with you, something I know too is that the French was so crazy with their colonization and their culture is so kind of trash when it comes to where they at. The biggest, I think I read that it's more French speakers in Africa than is in France. And then literally when it comes to keeping the French, you know what I'm saying, the French language alive, is really the African continent that's keeping it alive more than they are in France. So it's just, when we talk about the francophone, anglophone, it's just like, okay, so I got some more history to get into. And then seeing the countries that you know what I'm saying, neighbor it, it's like, okay, okay, okay. So definitely whenever we get out for this, I need you to send me all the information you got. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes,
Like,
yes. Of course. And so your results are going to be alive in your portal where
okay.
you get to activate. And we have a digital guide. Most people skip right past that and go straight to Google, but we do have a whole
Yeah,
guide
I
that
want to
has
do the guy. I want to do the guy. I want
some
to do the guy. I want to do the guy.
info about Cameroon and some stuff about the the different people groups. Certificate of ancestries in there. And one of the things I want to make sure I point out is that these results are the same for everybody in your family that comes from your great great grandmother. You all have that exact same mitochondrial DNA as that first woman who was brought here. And so when you talk about the customs, there Isaiah Washington, the actor Isaiah Washington, was the first person I heard say DNA has memory. Let me take this down. DNA has memory,
Oh
and
yeah.
we don't know what the cultures and the practices and the traditions and the beliefs that have informed us, but they have informed us. Not only that, the DNA is still in us
Oh
from
yeah.
that woman, from that man, So I encourage you, I know I don't have to, but encourage you to share this with your mom, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your sisters, your nieces, your nephews, your children. This is part of their ancestry too. And what I love about you having three sisters is that means that when and if they have children,
Yeah, I already got one of
when
them
they
already got one. Yeah,
when they come into the world, they're going to know something about who they are.
for sure
There's
they are.
not
Yeah,
going to be any confusion.
yeah. I can pass that little wealth on. And so I think that's another way I could have answered the question earlier about like why this is important. The concept that his name Isaiah Washington was talking about, I learned epigenetics and how epigenetics is, how we're able to have our DNA sequences passed on from generation to generation to generation. Now, not only deals with like trauma and stress and pain, but also deals with those other things that come with DNA sequences. So when people ask, what's the point of doing this and all that old stuff, it's like, hey, listen, man, when you go to the doctor asks, what is your history? They understand that you should understand that point that even people that you don't know what they went through and what they experienced impact you today. So even if you are ignorant and you don't give a damn, it's like you should give a damn because this impacts your livelihood today. Epigenetics. If anybody's interested in learning about epigenetics, that is the concept, you know what I'm saying? And you want to get into thinking about the various ways that you know, man, pain, suffering, shit passed down.
But you know what? Also, the joy and the resilience and the so it's not
I was
just
trying to get positive, but I was only thinking about it through that term because that's how I leaned into it. So I
yeah.
was trying to think about positive, but you know, shout out to you, Doc. You know what I was trying to.
I felt it. I felt it. So tell me this. So I have it up here. You guys, if you want to learn more, and those of you who are just seeing and meeting Conscious Lee, aka George, aka Mr. Lee, for the first time, you can check him out on YouTube. He has a gazillion videos on YouTube. You have courses too, right?
Yes.
He has courses. Where can people find your courses? On YouTube?
On YouTube or Substack.
Substack. Okay. So
YouTube,
please,
Substack.
I want you guys to check him out. As you can tell, he's educating me as much as I'm educating him over here on history and Africa. I hope that the points that I brought out, I try to really see what I can pull out that will resonate with you in terms of what you are passionate about publicly. So I think that you're going to get a lot out of learning about the political systems and the reactions and how they've resisted the political systems and what they're doing now. So, it has been a wonderful to meet you. Thank you for teaching our people.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing the work and standing up. I know it's not easy, especially in today's digital world. So I appreciate your courage and your conviction and your honesty and all those things and your support of African ancestry. I have to say, you know, you brought it up. We're at a time now where the focus is on encouraging people to do what they should be doing anyway, which is buy Black. And we obviously think that that's important as well. All of our business besties are Black-owned businesses. We understand that Black-owned businesses are what fuel the economy. Black-owned businesses are who employ Black people. And using other services, our accountants, our different suppliers, they're all Black-owned businesses. So we're part of a very important ecosystem while at the same time doing some work, offering a service that has a purpose. So I want to echo George's call to you guys to buy Black. Just buy Black.
Buy Black.
People have your best. Most times, Black people have your best interest.
For sure, most times, and no shade, man. But them other DNA companies, they are having some issues with the privacy and security when it comes to how they are storing our DNA, how they storing data. And we know that in the world of artificial intelligence, in the world of metadata, and how they trying to get your biometrics when you're going into the TSA and things, all this information, all this data is very important. I think African Ancestry, when they talk about deleting the data afterwards, deleting the DNA afterwards, I find not only is that very ethical and admirable, I feel like that is something that is not good for business, but good for integrity. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to my Cameroonian people. You feel me? I'm already, you know what I mean? I'm already thinking, man, I really want to cry right now, but I'm not going to do it live. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why are you crying? But so it's like, shit, but I'm gonna cry about it in the car.
Let me tell you, the crying is just the ancestors being happy. That's all. The ancestors are pleased, and that's why we cry. That's all that is. But we're going to hop off so you can get to the tears. Everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Gina Page, president and co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com. This is my new friend, Conscious Lee, a.k.a. George Lee, a.k.a. Mr. Lee, your new Cameroonian cousin, American cousin. And I just want to wish you a very good rest of the week. Until we meet again, everyone. Wait, I got to tell you this. We are having a sale right now, and we will be having a Black Friday sale. So now is the perfect time.
I want to do this. I want to do the paternal side. I'm telling my wife I want it for my birthday or for Christmas. Her birthday is December 9th. Shout out to all my Sagittarius out there. And also, if you in Houston, pull up on me December 6th at the Hive, man. Free admission. Come dressed fresh, come nice, you know what I'm saying? So it's a toy drive as well. So if you got some unwrapped, unopened toys to give to the kids here in Houston, holla at me. Sorry, shameless plug.
No, don't look. What other plugs you got? This is the time.
The other ones I got Wednesday mornings, 10:30 Central. Tap in with me. I got me a new setup. You know, research over me searching what the live stream is called. If you're not able to catch that live stream, you can go to anywhere podcasts available and catch it as well. On Wednesday, we definitely gonna be getting into some African ancestry, no pun intended.
I'm gonna need to be in there on that one. So I was trying to put that up. I need to be in there on that one so that I can see what y'all talking about. Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. Central.
Yeah,
that's
10:30 a.m.
10:30. Oops, hold on. 10:30, not 10. You'll be early.
10:30, definitely, man.
There we go. Wednesday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Central. Check out at Conscious Lee, Substack, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the socials. All right, I'm gonna let y'all go. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for rocking with us. Until we meet again, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be whole. Have a very good night, everybody.